Welcome, everyone, to the round three of the final refrain. It is already the quarterfinals. We will be having Matze versus Harmed. Um, let's have a quick preview show and then let's get the game started in like about 10 minutes. Where are we right now? Like I said, the quarterfinals. Um, Matze and Harmed in the top left bracket. They both had to get past very threatening opponents with crazy decks, but they've managed to get this far. So Matze and Harmed. Matze, our German friend, um, came to the Dutch National Archon Championships and was a runner-up. And actually, the final was between Matze and Harmed in that case. You see that he's the Dutch national champion from 2023 in Archon. Matze brought Chorzard then. Harms did not bring As was not in our team's possession just yet. He brought Pruel Nelson, which he also did bring to, I think, World Championships in 2023. I have played against both Chorzard and against As. Obviously lost to both of them as well at one point. Um, Chorzard is a very, very fast AOA deck with lots of tools. Uh, and Pastor Ass is, I think, quite famous by now. Vodka deck, but very, very efficient and not only relying on the key abductions or the winds of death, it can even win without those things. Um, let's look at the players before we look at the decks a bit more in depth. So both had a 2-0 and a 2-1. 14 keys in favor of Harm and 6 against. Matze only 11 and 4, but that must have been due to an early concession because if you win 4 times, 4 times 3 is 12, 11 is not 12. So ammo per turn, 4.14 for Harm, so a lot of ammo per turn. And Matze at 2.44. Usually, Matze would like an opponent to generate a lot of ammo per turn. The problem here is though that that amber most of the time gets converted uh, in. Sorry, I got the. So Matze actually won his games 2-0 both of the times. So that 4-1 is not correct. We will have to correct that one later. Um, but usually Matze wants to capitalize on the amber gain of the opponent to, yeah, well, steal it. But As actually doesn't generate it like by default. It just does it in bursts and uses it right away. A lot of cards played per turn, but you have to know that this is because of an archive, and 4.55 is a lot of cards. But there is some archiving here, but still 3 cards per turn with the helper bots and the efficiency. That's pretty good. And the keys check per turn, so every other turn, Matze puts you at check. Um, If you do some math, that's turn 6 or 7 if you don't do anything about the amber. Um, and that could be very well the case because there's not a lot of amber control in Pastor As. It's only 3.6, and it comes actually from the Skeleton Mook. It comes from some capture pips, and it comes from the Hallowed Eve Festival, and maybe the box bidder that you can discard for a steal if someone is a check. Yeah. Matze, like I said, has more amber control. Maybe 12 is not doing it justice. Quite some expected amber, some artifact control, and some creature control. But let's have a look at the decks themselves, starting with Pastor As. Um, it's a Vodka deck. Very, very fast, very fast. Tries to get haunted as soon as possible. Archiving a lot of creatures. That's pretty much in a nutshell what the Vodka wants to do. Then plays key abduction, maybe even 2 times in a row. Archives it with either the proliferator or the target. Um, Sometimes you don't want to play your creatures on the board with some Vodka decks because when they get destroyed with the Winds of Death, they're not in your archive. But the replay pod is a very nice tool here. I don't think we will see it being used because that's probably one of the ways you could lose, relying on the replay pod only for it to be neutron sharked at the moment that you would have liked it. The nap seed could be useful. I think there is a poltergeist, but it's a high risk, high reward kind of situation. Spooky charge can maybe do something, but I highly doubt it. When you look at short art, a lot of that expected amber, in my opinion, comes from TMTP, Brand, Ronnie. A lot of stealing in there. But if your opponent doesn't make any amber, what are you gonna steal? So, yeah, it could be one of the strategies that Hart might employ to say, you need to outrace me with pure amber gain. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 amber pips. So not a lot, but also not very little. But a lot of the potential amber comes from TMTP, Brand. So I would imagine that TMTP just gets played for the amber. Uh, thanks, Ryan. But I'm planning to. I didn't mention this before, but the plan is to have both the players in Discord chat while they're playing, so we can hear their audio during the game and see how that works. So any feedback on that would be appreciated. Um, yeah, I think Matze needs to come out of the gates flying because we know from experience that As needs only like 4, 5, 6 turns maybe. So probably he wants to go bursting out of logos with helper bots, help from future self, time to have drawn lots of cards. The stun of the Pip isn't as bad on the creatures. Um, yeah, I I think it's a very tough. It's going to be a very tough matchup for both of these players, and I was apparently already in the game. I was testing the setup, so it's going to be a very tough matchup for Matze. I think As might be quite favored in here. I'm going to ask the players to join the voice chat. Uh, and the password. Oh my god. They have been openly discussing the matchup a little bit uh, in the channel. So I see that Harmed has now joined the voice chat. He's not said anything just yet. Let me unmute for a second to see if that audio is coming through. Hey guys, I've unmuted myself for a bit, so if you guys are ready to go, I want to test the audio for a second, and then we can get the game going.
So already, yeah.
I think we're good. I think we're good. They cannot hear me.
Everything good on your side?
I think we're good. I'm asking confirmation from the chat. Not tonight's watching or checking. Sydney's checking. There's a lot of people. They're saying all good. So guys, keep it decent. Not too much German swearing, Matze. And I wish you.
That's fine.
I'm gonna go on mute now. I'm gonna start commentating. Yeah. Good luck, guys. Let me type in the game chat to start it off. All right. So
All good.
we're on the way. I think we're ready to
All
go.
right. I'm ready when Tom is, so I think we can hit the start the
Yeah.
game button, right?
Same here. Oh.
I need to switch the names. So now it's better, right? So I kind of want to keep them a little bit
Classic.
quiet.
Well, as long as I'm winning, like he can keep the names to the score for it to be right.
All right, I'm copying and doing that. Almost done there. So let me flip those. Harmed on top.
Do you like your hand or not?
I've already decided what I'm gonna do. Just waiting for Tom.
Good to go. Harm sounds good.
Good
Yeah,
to go.
maybe the connection is not
Cool.
great. So let's see. There's a balance
I'm
between talking over them and letting them do their thing. So let's see how this goes. So Harm Mulligant, or Matze Mulligant, and Harm capped. So exciting.
very good. No, I did not like my hand one bit. I was an instant mulligan, so that's all you want to hear, right?
That's good for me.
I think so. There you
Yeah.
go, a box bidder and a discard tip.
Let me zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, this is gonna get decided like in the first 3 turns.
Yeah, pretty much, probably.
So Harm just plays
Let's
Hidden
see what
Stash Furtive
comes out of
Investors.
here.
Harm plays Hallowed Eve
Yeah.
to look for his discard. Not too happy about it,
Great.
it seems.
This is
As long as
always
you
good.
don't get the
Oof.
UFOs, I'm good.
Quite some creatures in there
Yeah.
already.
Am I taking anything?
Out of these
That's
3,
these
what are you
4
taking?
big magnets. Not great.
Maybe?
If you can take a chain, I don't mind.
That all sucks, huh?
I'm almost just inclined just to let them talk about it and not say anything.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
This
leave
is
it there
great.
as is.
So didn't take anything, throws it back to Matze, goes into logos, plays memory chip, time traveler, drawing some cards, Archimedes to archive, pass the turn back.
Yeah, my draw isn't that good either, so
I
maybe
was
we're
gonna
gonna get a shit show and go for like 10 turns.
This is gonna be the slowest game ever.
Harm
Let me
goes
just
into Untamed to
get
discard
rid of
some
all this.
stuff, not
Don't
making
need
any
that.
hammer that Matze can steal, or is making hammer actually, to get rid of the Archimedes.
And
Okay.
boom. Ah,
Goes for
Good hit, good
the
hit.
high roll to discard
yeah,
Lamindra,
that was
one
key
of
to your
the
strategy, right? That Limindra.
least
Yep.
valuable cards.
Get all the creatures in the discard.
Yeah, exactly.
Goes into Shadows, picks up the archive, the card at the archive, maybe turn 1. Plays the brand, probably can kill it. Oh, there we go. 8 amber.
Yeah,
Check.
that's what I expected. There you go. Hmm.
Yeah, so that maybe was one of the things where you don't want to make amber so the brand doesn't steal, but you are actually gaining 1 amber anyway, and then 2 ambers easy to generate, so it's turn 3.
Actually, have to think about this.
End of turn 3. Turn 4 now. Harm needs to have a little bit of a thought on what he's going to do. Let's see if we can look at some stats while that's going on.
Yeah,
I
let's go
don't
for
think
it.
this is the
There you go.
right stats page. No, it's from the previous game, unfortunately. Can Az win without Amber Gain? Yes, of course. It doesn't need any Amber at all.
Yeah.
So Harm plays the Winds of Death, and then plays Cursed Tomb for an extra Amber pip, which could be stolen. But there is already 7 cards in the archive now. Matze is just playing his board out as soon as possible to generate that Amber and try to get ahead of the
Right.
2 key abductions that Harmed can play out.
Is it combo time?
Matze
Not
knows
yet.
what's
My
up.
draw hasn't really lined up as I was hoping it would.
So it does go into Mars. Tries to find
A
new Mars
UFO
cards.
to
So UFO into UFO.
that
The
UFO.
Rebel is key. So let's sit back and see what happens. Maybe just keeps for next turn. He has time. Place target to archive probably a UFO. Yeah, he does archive the UFO. 100% of the sloppy lines present. Oh, so the rebel comes in and does decide to push for some amber.
Sure, let's get to 6. There you go.
So 6 is a good number, I think. Ronnie doesn't steal too much. Team TP doesn't do anything. It does go into shadows. There's a whispers, which could make you lose the
Let's
rebel.
steal some Ember.
It plays brand. Another brand, which was archived probably, and the Ronnie, stealing 1. If he can blow up the board, now it's getting threatening actually. But Harm knows as long as he makes 1 or 2 keys the coming turn, then he probably is set up to key abduction the turn after. So maybe um, maybe not too worried, but maybe he is if he didn't
What's
find
happening
his.
with my hand? Oh god.
Oh no, he's complaining about his hand. Yeah, they cannot hear me, but they're talking to each
That's like
other.
probably the 2, maybe 3% chance
It's
that you
his
don't get it off.
oh god.
It could be enough because there's not a lot of things that Harm can do.
So I've
So
practiced this like
yeah,
probably 50 times and like barely
he
went to turn 6 or 7.
yeah, he needs to
And
make
usually
one
by
key
now I'm
now.
done. What's happening? Well, I know what's happening, but jeez.
He does have a UFO in his archive, so I think he
This is
should just
so
risk
awkward.
it. I think you should just go for it, but the 2 key abductions might still be in the draw. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Mars. What was archived?
I feel like I have to go for it.
So he's going for it. Finds the key abduction. There it is.
There it is.
That's probably a big relief for Harmed. Archiving UFO to find the other key abduction afterwards. How he plays key abduction to archive the other key abduction. Yeah. So yeah, plays key abduction, plays down the target again to archive key abduction. So there's key abduction UFO in here. Check for key number 2. Forge the first one. Has enough to forge for free on the next turn. But there's still maybe the second key abduction in his draw, which is a bit worrying. But Harm can do the math and he can count how many Mars cards are still in there. So could potentially find the second key abduction if he doesn't have it. So Matze
Now I have
definitely
the
needs to
awkward
take
hand.
him off check.
Interesting.
Gotta
Going
kill
up
the
to 7
brand
was a pretty
somehow.
good choice.
Thank you.
He needs to
I
blow up
think
the
you've
brand
played
to get
most
to
of
check
your
probably.
heal life or lives, etc.
Oh yeah, I
Stopping
definitely
key
need
here would be
to.
enough. I don't
I
think
need to draw
so.
a shark here, so we'll
Yeah.
go with this.
Okay, he goes with the shark. So he needs to kill his brand and then hope that Harm doesn't find the second key abduction. First game, yes. It doesn't get too tricky, J. Philippek, because it's all about. I think it's a 50-50, maybe. There's 2 Mars cards in there. But you'd like to see this though, because you think As is heavily favored here.
Yep, and now I have the shark in hand.
There's my second key abduction.
See, he did find it. Probably did the calculation. Key abduction,
GG.
key abduction. There you go.
GG.
Yeah, so this game I had 2 key abductions. Both of them were in the bottom 6 cards of my draw. And that was really rough. That's why it
Yes,
took so long.
UFO was
Yeah,
archived.
I actually had like a pretty decent start.
Yeah, you did.
But the
Sure.
problem is like once I run out of like the destroy abilities to get like brand off, just slows down a lot.
So I'm just
I'm
copying the
also drawing the
logs
shark
now.
right now, and in the last hand I drew, so it's like yeah, I drew into the helper bot and the researcher right now. So
Oh wow, nice.
Tom getting the log. Does he have the log?
Okay. Yes, guys, I did get the logs. Thank you. I think this is working pretty well. I like the description of the plays you're making, and I think this was a good start for the games. Let's move on to the second game. You can hit the restart button. I'll go on mute again.
Yeah, cool. Let's do that.
Yeah. So this was one of the ways that Matze could potentially snag a
Just
game.
pick.
I don't think the next game will be
Yep.
as close, but let's
Hmm.
see.
Actually
Let's go
not sure.
first.
Oh, you want to go first, okay. I'm actually not sure
Well,
what you would want to do.
the games I won, I always won first, so it's probably
Okay.
like the one turn I get ahead
So
of you.
both players played a lot of games, and in their games testing, As was
Have brand.
almost a 10-to-1 win ratio. So that was a pretty special game. The first one starts with a hidden stash again.
Let's see if we can
Archive something.
mill a lot.
Goes with the UFO to
Yep.
mill.
Don't like the Mars start.
One
Oh,
what?
there's the first key abduction.
I.
The target, yeah.
That's a pretty good time.
Oh no.
Yeah,
There you go.
Oh no.
probably like GG at this point already.
Really? No way.
Well, like
People what
if,
they
if you
want.
get like two more pieces out of the UFO, I think it won't be able to stop you.
It's very rough, and Matze knows it. All he can do is just pump amber out and efficiency, and then pray for the best. There is R. There's a shark. There's a poltergeist.
But yeah, we'll see. Maybe you hit like
So,
a nameless
like I
horror or
said, this
something.
might be one of the
It's not
things that
that
could
bad.
potentially lose you the
Yeah, maybe I'll
game,
take a
but there's only a
untamed
target
turn in
there,
between,
so.
just to get rid of all of that.
Oh, Rebel
That's a good discard for
UFO.
me, actually.
For
With
you,
that.
yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna discard the rest of this. There you go.
So I think Harmed has the second Winds of Death in hand. Otherwise, he would have probably archived it with
It's
target.
definitely not good for me.
Yeah, yeah. So if you play your creatures out and you let them go in the replay pod, and then he kills the replay pod, that's one of the ways to not get your Mars creatures back. Meanwhile, Matze goes into a Shadows turn.
Let's go
Nice
to
one.
check.
Plays Brent, kills it with Life for
Let's go
Life,
Mars then.
gaining a 4 amber. Return Triumph Lever to the archives and steal.
I think the thing is,
Very
do
nice.
I want to destroy my targets? Let's first see what we draw.
Plays UFO.
Okay, something.
Finds a proliferator.
At least you're not filling up your discard with the UFO. That's good. But it's already pretty full. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, AOA
There's
can
4
can
creatures in there.
generally
That's
not
really
keep
bad
up.
news.
Yeah.
So that's
Also,
why I'm
the
doubting.
one Winds of Death is out, so you might have to dig a bit deeper.
Oh,
Yeah, so let's go with this play. Fight the Pip in there, then take it back to, or sorry, fight into the Pip, take it back
nice,
to hand.
nice. That was a nice
And
play.
here, I think it would be Winds of Death, right?
So he did not have the Winds of Death because he was probably banking
Maybe
on
just
finding it.
re-archive all the key abductions.
Yeah, he's got both key abductions in there. Winds of Death. It's a ticking time bomb. Oh, is he going to
A
shuffle?
lot of discards. There you go.
No, he's not. No, he's not going to shuffle at all.
Forging the blue key.
Yeah. So it's a ticking time bomb, right? So the Winds of Death is there, a lot in the archive. Harm just takes one turn to play Winds of Death. Then on the turn after, he can forge 2 keys, and on the turn after that one, he can close the game out. So here, Matze plays too much to protect for the Ember
So
Pip.
quick.
Plays Brent to steal Ember. Life for life to kill stuff. Doesn't get to check, which would have been crucial. But anyway, Harm plays Winds of Death now. And
Yeah,
still has 2 more turns.
Don't even need to pick up the archives this time.
There's nothing much
Discard
to
Reaver,
do
play
here.
Melodies, and then blow it all to hell.
Yeah.
And
So I
back to
think
levers.
they both know what's up here. We are 4 minutes into the game.
Ah,
Left.
Yeah,
Artifact.
he had to have gone to check to have a
Left.
small chance. But
Left. Archive from deck. Another artifact. Neutron shark. To archive something. Destroy the shark. End my turn.
a lot of stuff played. Only generating 1 amber there. But
yeah, I guess I'll go with Mars.
20 cards in hand. Double key abduction and target.
Forge key.
Forge key 1. Forge key number 2.
Archive it. Forge another key.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, key abduction definitely needs errata to be at least 6 amber to forge.
That
I guess
would
I'll go
make
with Mars.
too much sense. There you go.
Yeah. And Matze
really
is
gonna play
playing
anything else.
playing out. He knew 2 turns ago what was happening, maybe even before the game started. But still, yeah. You gotta try, right? You saw game 1. It could have gone the other way.
GG.
So Harm plays key abduction. Harmed wins the second game.
Yeah, this
well
is
played.
Pretty much how my testing went. I think short start is just 1 or 2 turns too short usually.
Rough
Yeah,
game for
usually I
Matze.
need to check for the 3rd key while you don't have a key. Like we
GG.
talked about this.
Well played.
Very
Most
openly,
times,
yeah.
Yeah. Most times, if I get to the point, like I win, like I got it down like to like 3 out of 10 ish games if I get like the
Three
right
out of
hand.
10. Okay.
Oh,
But I
that's
just need to, yeah, because of my
way
testing,
more
actually,
than
the
my
Seismo
testing.
Entangler really helped
Yeah, yeah,
to like stop the reaping from the Mars to get more cards in your archive.
yeah.
So you would have to like, well, waste 2 turns to archive everything back with the target by playing it. So yeah,
Yeah, so
that never
that's
happened
I
this
also
game.
tested it out, and that's kind of why I avoid the Mars combos and I just purely
What an
go for the Vodka
Aztec.
route. And I noticed that if I only
Yeah.
go for Vodka and just completely ignore the Mars comboing, I win 9 out of 10 games pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. Like in my testing, like when we went for the Wodka, um, it depended on how big my discard was. So if I had like a good shark turn to get a lot of things discard, then it
Oh,
was
yeah.
like it wasn't that viable to
Yeah.
pick up the like to play it or like to wait for me to redraw or reshuffle, and it just slows it down a bit. But then again, I run out of stuff to destroy on my board or like with the cards in my hand. So
Okay, guys, I have unmuted myself. Well played.
hello.
It went as expected, I guess, unfortunately for you, Matze.
Well, it happens. Part of the game.
It happens, but still, you made it all the way to the quarterfinals in the super stack deck. Hoping to avoid ass, of course, but didn't happen. That first game was getting a bit close, Harm. That was one of those. Hmm.
I don't think there was much that I could have done different there. It was just, as I mentioned after the game, if both key abductions are in the bottom
Yeah.
6 cards of the deck, it's really rough because then I'm constantly setting up for the vodka, but the cow of the vodka is not coming. There's not much
Did
I can
you?
do.
How many Mars cards were still left in that 6 card draw pile? I couldn't count all of them because I couldn't see your hand, but I'd imagine it was two, maybe.
4. There were 4
Four.
cards left, which is also, yeah, it was a rough draw.
And you had one UFO or two?
I had one UFO and I hit the key abduction luckily, and then that was enough. And basically, I was
Yeah.
thinking, okay, if Matze can stop me from forging a key naturally, then I have to UFO into the second key abduction, which was
Mm-hmm.
1 in 3 only. But then luckily, I could actually just forge it naturally, and that was GG.
Did you forge it naturally? You killed your brand, right? Oh, well, maybe I missed that.
That
But
was the one Logo's turn that Matze at some point had to take, where he was looking and digging for the shark, and then he
oh,
couldn't
it
use the
didn't have
shark
the
to kill the
shark.
brand.
I was assuming
He
it.
didn't have.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, no, I drew the shark on my last hand that I drew that
Ah,
game. If I got the
yeah.
shark, I think I would have won that game because
If you
I
could
would
have
have
killed the
stopped
brand, and then there was a
your
higher
key.
chance, yeah.
No.
It was
Oh,
depending then if the UFO
Yeah,
hits the key abduction, which I
yeah,
yeah,
think
yeah.
it
yeah,
also
yeah.
did. So in the end, it didn't matter. But yeah,
Yeah, that's why I thought. I was like, oh, it needs to hit the key abduction, but you didn't stop the key. So yeah, a bit of luck is needed, but a fantastic start for all the Amber Pip. You did decide to generate some Amber with Amber Storm, probably because you didn't want to give the efficiency of the time traveler with Archimedes, I presume.
yeah, that's exactly right. I
Yeah.
thought that Archimedes might be a problem, and one of the ways that
Hmm.
Master can win is if his locust board gets out of control and he just kind of starts reaping out on me and start
Yeah.
recurring things with the Archimedes. So I had to get rid of it, and luckily I already had no
Yeah.
Ember. So I was thinking, okay, this extra Ember that Master is gonna steal eventually is still worth it to kill the
Yeah. Yeah.
Archimedes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I saw that line. I think I agree there. Well, thanks guys for being such good sports to join this voice chat for everyone to follow along. I'm gonna watch the replay and see how it actually goes
Yeah.
goes with not casting. So I think it was pretty fun for me to listen to. And thanks once again. Harm, good luck in next round. Matze, well played.
Thank you.
AOA is still there, huh? Still going strong.
AOA is the best set. That's just
So
how it is.
I'm gonna leave the voice chat. You guys can stay. I'm gonna wrap up the stream and thank you once again, guys. All right, see you.
Thank you for streaming.
You
Cheers.
well, that was that was a fast game. I think both games lasted like 10 minutes. Yeah, AOA best set. Um, like was speculated in the chat already, close your ears now if you don't want any spoilers. Um, but the next, let's see if I can get that right. If I look at the bracket, um, the next matchup is Mike Fooney versus Harmed in the semi-final. As versus Bandola, maybe two of the most loathed decks in the game at the moment to play against. I don't know. I play against Ass all the time. I'm not always having fun because you're just sitting there and well, huh? The same thing goes a bit for Bandola if it gets the combo off or if it gets the Bryo Calp down. Um, it's going to be a very interesting match. There are ways to get an edge. It still comes down to a bit of the good or bad draws, I think, but maximizing your chances takes some skill as well. So I know both these players are practicing a lot, so I'm looking forward to that semi-final match. And on the other side, again, spoilers, close your ears if you don't want to hear them. Um, the Wookiee versus Lorenzo still has to be played. I think it's somewhere Sunday. Central European time, 2 p.m. That's early morning North America, I think, and it's late evening-ish in Asia. Um, and the winner of that, again, spoiler, so closures, don't want to hear it, is going to be facing a Cat Marrow um, with a very interesting deck, which has also the Rebel Zip, and Xylo, Dr. Xylo combo. But on top of that, two multidimensional rescues with a mimicry, which can come back like 3, 4, 5 times paired with the pen seed. So your great actions will work against you, as we saw with red line rotation happening a couple times in the game. But yeah, one more game for the quarterfinals, and then it's on to the semifinals, and then the grand final after that one. I'm gonna close the stream off. Thanks for watching, everyone, and see you next time. Bye.